If you dig deep enough into the underbelly of the internet, you're bound to run into a Snyder Cultist somewhere along the web. I think it's safe to say that they are the most bizarre and repugnant fan bases of recent memory, dating all the way back to November of 2017, perhaps even before that. The Snyder Cult has been running rampant online, bashing anyone they feel goes against the legacy of the holy Zack Snyder. Once Justice League was released in November of 2017, Snyder fans began to turn rabid and would stop at absolutely nothing to get the movie they so desperately wanted. First, they started off calm, doing the little things like petitions. This is, in my book, one of the first true beginnings of the Snyder Cult, the moment the release of Snyder Cut hashtag hit Twitter. It was everywhere. Once the petition didn't get them the cut that they wanted, they took matters into their own hands, and maybe into the hands of a few bots too. And it doesn't matter what WB was promoting at the time, the spam from the Snyder Cult was real. Even under posts that weren't even related to movies or superheroes. Even sometimes under celebrity memorial posts too. It started to become downright distasteful, and most people, normal people, saw that this was going a little too far. Sure, a lot of Snyder fans have put a lot of money into charity, but that doesn't give them the excuse or the pass to act like complete clowns online because of that. And if anything, now they should be held to a higher standard if they want to act all high and mighty about helping out charities, but start acting like better human beings as well. You know what's crazy is that I love Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. As a matter of fact, BVS is like my number 2 movie I watch scenes of to get like pumped up for a workout, and that's right behind like Rocky. For Christ's sake, I went to go see Man of Steel when I was 12 and my mind was blown. I was so hyped after that I asked my mom if I could go buy a Superman comic, and we went to go buy like Superman Earth 1, and that was amazing. Like Snyder did that. But the difference between myself and a Snyder cultist is that my emotional attachment to what Snyder gave me doesn't make me blind to the glaring issues within his movies. These cultists will use every trick and excuse in the book to explain why his movies are beyond our comprehension and should be treated as a higher level of art. And that's just delusional. And I keep calling these fans cultists because this is exactly how a modern day cult that spreads online behaves. They even kept going and wanted Suicide Squad 2016 to have a director's cut because one Joker scene at the end was slightly there. I don't even know what the hell that was. And there was a little bit of a different edit of the movie that was made apparently. Totally not David Ayer trying to bank in on Snyder's success and following whatsoever. Totally not. Or what about the time that Snyder fans tried to force Affleck to make the Batman movie he doesn't want to make, and they're still trying to make him make that movie? Like, man, I really feel bad for these actors, because honestly, there was a time when they actually went silent and didn't say anything about the Snyder Cut, because, they have lives outside of the internet, and the Snyder cultists do not. So they legitimately attacked actors for not coming out in full support of the Snyder Cut, like they should have known that that was a thing that should have been going on, until they actually came out and said something. Just a constant timeline of toxicity from a group that's known to bully and harass anybody and anything to get exactly what they want. Well, at the end of the day, the WB interns controlling the Twitter accounts being bombarded by Snyder cultists finally ran out of hair to pull out of his head and decided to tell the bosses who caved into the terrorist demands and release the Snyder Cut. It turned out to be a better movie, but it took 5 days to complete for anybody who actually had a life. But WB actually made some extra money in HBO Max subscribers. Snyder fans finally got what they wanted, and Snyder finally got the peace he deserved after not being able to finish this movie to begin with. And everybody lived happily ever after, never to be heard of again. The end. Or so we thought before James Gunn came out and said he's directing his own Superman movie, which any normal human being that's not chronically on the internet would think is a fantastic idea and a step in the right direction for DC and its film division. Nope. The Snyder Cult started yet another hashtag, this time demanding that WB restored the Snyder Cut, even though Snyder wants nothing to do with WB and those IPs anymore and has his own deal with Netflix. That doesn't even matter to them either. It literally does not matter to them. They want WB to sell the Snyder Cut to Netflix. Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? WB can't just sell them their live action moneymakers for Netflix and Snyder to do willy-nilly with all these characters. And even if they could, they 1000% won't and don't need to. It's delusional at this point, and it's gone far past being something that we can all point and laugh at. It's something that should be fairly concerning. I feel bad for Snyder because he honestly seems like a genuine guy who really loves what he does, and I love his movies no matter what, but man, these Snyder guys make it incredibly hard for me to even admit that sometimes. Snyder isn't blameless here either, because he can easily come out with a statement saying, oh, I've moved on from DC and Snyderverse and with comic book characters, and I'm solely focusing on Netflix movies now, and this would all be fixed. All of this would be done. These fans would dissipate. And while some of them might be actually trolls and bait to garner attention, a lot of these people actually believe that this is actually happening and that there will actually be a resurrection of the Snyderverse. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if one of these Snyder nuts does something overtly violent in the name of the Snyder Cult. Hopefully that never actually happens. That never actually comes to it, and the Snyder Cult does what every other cult does and fades into irrelevancy, especially since Superman Legacy is coming out and hopefully will erase the unfortunate stain that Man is still left on Superman's own legacy.